Welcome everyone. Thanks for coming out on this crispy night. A beautiful new moon. I hope you got a chance to see it as you came in. My name is Rita Marsh. I'm co-founder of the Center for Human Flourishing, and we offer programs for personal growth that ignite the full potential of the human spirit. And information about our upcoming programs are on the table over there. And just make yourselves comfortable. There's water, tea on the back table. Restrooms are out the door to the right around the pillar. And feel free to move in and out as you need to make yourselves comfortable. Tonight is a very special evening that came about because Connie and Andrew come here occasionally, and we try to grab them when they're here. So they're off tomorrow back to Loveland, to Sunrise Ranch, where they live now. But tonight they are honoring us with their presence, as is Michelle Bryan, who's on our board, an extraordinary hypnotherapist who's part of the program. And Rob Woo has joined them. Rob is a shaman and musician extraordinaire. He lives up the Frying Pan River. And I'll tell you a little more about Connie and Andrew in a minute, but first I want us to acknowledge the people who lived on this land before us, so that we all will know, we acknowledge that this land where we live is the ancestral homeland of Nurch, the indigenous people who were forcibly removed. We respect the enduring and nurturing relationships that exist between people and land. We aspire to heal by being in balance with the land and respecting it in a living way, as did Nurch. A little bit about the Center for Human Flourishing. We have been working with Dr. Elliot Dasher for many years, who wrote a book, Integral Health, The Path to Human Flourishing. And his model was a very, not watered down, but a very succinct expression of Ken Wilber's model of development. And says that as a human being, I have mind, body, and spirit. I have a biological aspect, a psycho-spiritual aspect, interpersonal, and worldly. And in each of those areas, there are lines of development. And when we look at programs, we say, okay, where does this fit on the wheel? And tonight it's covering the globe with the work that Connie and Andrew are bringing to us, and Michelle and Rob's support. We also understand we're held in the field of spirit, and we're grounded on the Mother Earth. And one of our bylines is health begins from the ground up. So we support very much plant-based lifestyle to support our personal health and the health of the planet. So a little bit about our guest tonight. It seems like I've known Connie for umpteen years, and then Andrew came into the picture. But they're authors of a book, piece of work called The Trust Frequency, 10 Assumptions for a New Paradigm. They use films to explore ideas they feel are crucial to humanity as we proceed on the evolutionary upward spiral to peace on Earth, and align with conscious, loving, abundant nature of the universe. You can learn more about their work at thetrustfrequency.net.
It's getting worse, it's got to get even more mysterious.
Sorry. I have no idea. I didn't push this single button. It just played.
Guided by voices.
That's the universe calling in.
Must be.
Michelle Bryan is a renowned hypnotherapist known for helping her clients sleep better and unlock their full potential. With over a decade of experience under her belt, she's been the guiding light for countless clients, empowering them to break through mental barriers and achieve their goals using the magic of hypnosis. And you can learn more about Michelle on her Facebook page, and you can check the flyer as you go out. And a wonderful surprise here tonight was to have Rob Woo join us. Rob Whitesides Woo as a shaman, healer, and teacher. As I said before, he lives up the Frying Pan River. He's been a recording artist, composing and producing 5 solo albums and 5 collaboration albums. And he's here tonight to offer a sound from this beautiful instrument. So without further ado, I'm going to turn the program over to this foursome, and they're going to lead us on a journey into the trust frequency and into the higher vibrations of what's coming onto the planet. So we're ready to go.
Thank you, Rita.
Thanks, Rita. The program. Do you have a copy of that again? Yeah, thank you.
So, hi everybody, welcome. So happy you're here. I'm just going to give you an idea of what's going to happen this evening. And first, Rob's going to do a meditation with his flute. And then Andrew is going to speak to you a bit about assumptions. And then we're going to have a little music and movement with Omashar, who has done a beautiful song called Hypnotized, which is a trust frequency theme song. And we're gonna kind of get up and dance around a bit to his music. And then Andrew and I will speak a bit about our 10 assumptions for new paradigm, this construct on the nature of the universe that takes us beyond right, wrong, good, evil, victim, perpetrator. So be prepared, you came to change your frequency, and that's the big leap for humanity to get to that place. So we'll just give you a little few insights into our construct on the nature of the universe that takes us to that place, to understand it's all love. And how can that all be love? Well, we have a surprise for you. And then Michelle will do a guided meditation process to really integrate what you've heard and what your heart has to say to you about it all. And that will be recorded, and it'll be sent to you by email.
Yeah, so just make sure before everybody leaves tonight, if you leave me with an email address, I'm going to record about 20 minutes of hypnotic induction, which is just really designed to take the trust frequency principles into your subconsciousness so that you can become the living embodiment of the trust frequency. And I would like to email you the recording. So oftentimes people will fall asleep at night listening to the induction and go right to sleep as they're listening to the recording. And then it still infiltrates into your subconsciousness. And without a lot of effort, you become the embodiment of living the trust frequency. So that's our hope for you for tonight.
So, there we have it. So, Rob, you will, here, let's let these folks come and
Join
have a
the
seat.
circle. Welcome, welcome.
Yes. So happy you're here.
Beautiful, Lydia.
And maybe while we're waiting, why don't we just go around and everyone just say your name?
Hello, I'm Becky.
Becky.
Alia.
Alia.
Diana.
Diana.
Lydia.
Lydia.
Larry.
Is that our
Kay.
name?
I'm Wendy.
I'm Carol.
Catalin.
What's your name?
Catalin.
Katarina.
Catalin.
Catalin.
Catalina.
I can go by Kata.
No, it's beautiful. Catalina.
Willis.
Willis. And
Antonio.
Antonio.
Antonio. Thank you.
Okay, so I've got a feeling we're nicely international here. which is much appreciated and really important. So you've just entered, we're about to, I like to use the term sacred space. We're about to have Robert Whitesides Woo, who's a very well-known master of New Age music among many other of his talents. And he's going to take us into a spiritual realm, shall we say, a state of openness, of awareness, of delight, of consciousness. So if we can just relax into these sounds, and I suspect Rob's going to have a few words for us as well, knowing him.
Yes, I
Has
shall.
very good words.
And I don't know what those words shall be yet.
So Rob, you are on. Thank you.
Okay. Well, hi, everybody. I was thinking about when Connie asked me to sort of open it up. Let's begin with this. I'm going to play the flute a bit, but the way I'll point it is, let's take a while to breathe in the essence of Mother Earth in our inhalation, and breathe out. So I'll try to place it as the rhythm of Mother Earth first. I want to say one more thing, actually. For me, it's really important in terms of trust to embrace the dark as well as the light. In fact, my theme for 2025 is to use my darkness to lift into the light. It's very powerful fuel. The things that we object to ourselves, the things that we say, oh no, I shouldn't be this. No, our job is to bring love to all our parts. And that's what Mother Earth will help us. Let's make space, enormous space in our heart and our breath. So our grief, where we have grief, may find a home in ourselves where she belongs, not an enemy, but a friend.
Welcome. How many of you here know our book, The Trust Frequency? Okay, so there are some new people, and this is beautiful because we have our folks who know our work very well here, and it's always them again. So this is new in some ways. What we're presenting is new and refreshed for this year of 2025. And we'd love you just to know, where is the book? We should have it.
It's over on the table.
Yeah, it's on the table, and we'll talk about that at some point. It's a process or a worldview, if you will, that really, really changes and really helps. Now, the reason I asked Rita for this is I wanted to get to this document. That's our little flyer that Connie Connie and Rita made. And it makes a promise. You came here tonight because of a promise. And I want to make darn sure that we deliver on that promise. It would be just the worst thing in the world if you came hoping for something, expecting something, and walked out and said, but wait a minute. Have you ever had that happen where you think it's going to be something and it's not necessarily that? And that something is the description of this event, an experiential evening of transformation. What does that mean? And I think doing this at New Year's is critical, possibly especially this particular New Year. We've already started out with some rather shocking events. There are some changes occurring on our planet that are, to be honest, frightening. And it's going to take all the trust and all the faith and all the love to live in a state beyond fear, beyond concern, and ultimately beyond separation, which is what has created all of these circumstances. So I wanted to be sure we got the wording correct here. So that's our promise, that there is something about this evening that is transformational. What does that mean? Basically, it just means change. I mean, I personally have been to events, I've gone to see a speaker or a guru or whatever it might have been, and walked out of there going like, wow. I've gone to the movies and seen a film and walked out of there going, wow, I just had a complete reset. And this is what my prayer and hope and intention for this gathering is, that we, each of us in our own very special individual ways, has a reset. You know, the whole idea of a New Year's resolution. I like to think of a New Year's revolution, where, you know, we're evolving another trip around the sun. Here we are, and each time starting again, hitting the reset button, but God willing, at a higher point on the evolutionary upward spiral. So I want to talk just a little bit about the importance of assumptions. When you see our book, you'll see it has a subtitle. It's called The Trust Frequency. And the subtitle is 10 Assumptions for a New Paradigm. So we're going to talk about what a paradigm is. We've all heard this term, we need a paradigm shift, or we need a new paradigm. What is a paradigm? So we'll address that. And what on earth have assumptions got to do with that? Because there was a famous person who put out a book, and part of the message of that book is don't make assumptions. I somewhat disagree with that. Now, we can always make incorrect assumptions about situations and people, and oh, so-and-so is thinking, and oh, he's looking at me that way. We all make assumptions. Every time I sit on a chair, I have to assume that that chair is going to support my weight. Every time I get on the road, I have to assume the roads are safe enough to drive on and on and on, right? We make these assumptions. We cannot live without them. And so what is it? What is an assumption? I think it's one of the most important factors in the human psyche. And not just an assumption, but a set of assumptions. So would anybody like to just say an assumption is what?
A label.
Thank you. A label, true. I would say that it is this. It is a fact that we take to be true without question. Let's think of assumptions as a belief that is so deep, so profound that we never question it. So we come up with the idea that we have assumptions that are unquestioned. We have a belief system that has been somehow implanted in our psyches, usually as little kids. And I'll give you a couple of examples of the kinds of things that really affect us when we're little. I am doing something. I was a very naughty boy. When Connie met my mom, I grew up in South Africa. Connie says to my mom, "What was Andrew like as a little boy?" Would you care to?
He was a little devil.
So if my beloved mommy, when I was 2 or 3 years old, called me a little devil because I was doing some devilish things, I was always setting things on fire and breaking stuff. I was really good at that. So if I've got implanted in my inner psyche the fact, the unquestioned belief and assumption that I am a little devil, I'm a bad person, I'm not good enough, I'm inferior, and it went unconscious before the age of 7, and it's been in there ever since, and it's never even occurred to me to bring it up to the surface and have a look at it. What is that? I just turned 81. If that is still alive and well in my unconscious, in my subconscious, what is that doing to my relationships, my life, my existence right now? And I think you know the answer. It's not a good thing. So this work has to do with something that's not actually easy. It's essential, but I'm not claiming it's easy. We have to bring those unconscious assumptions and beliefs to the surface so we can look at them in the light of day and ask the question, do I really believe that? And what kinds of assumptions are we can use the word, even use the word, are we programmed with? Not intentionally, not consciously, but every culture on the planet. I don't care if you're a pygmy in the African jungle, or if you're a Swami in India, or you're an Australian Aboriginal person. You and your culture has a set of assumptions, which is, by the way, what a paradigm is. A paradigm is simply a coherent set of assumptions that everybody agrees on. If all the people in this circle could agree on 10 things, we would now have a paradigm. And our book actually offers 10 assumptions for a new paradigm. They could be a different 10, there could be 15 of them, that's not important. What is important is that a collection of communally or consensually agreed upon assumptions create a paradigm by which families, communities, countries, nations, and so on live their lives. So there are many cultures within which we are told that those people over there are dangerous, or they're wrong, or their religion is the devil's, or whatever. All you're aware, we could make a long, long list of these things. So this is the point, the simple point I want to make, is that it is possible to bring these unconscious things that we were told as little people into whatever our age is right now, into our waking consciousness, into the light, and see what happens, and ask that question. Do I really believe that? Do I really believe that I'm a little devil? Who told me that? Might have been Mom, right? So I'll leave it at that. I just wanted to plant this little seed about the critical place of assumptions. It's not, don't make assumptions, assumptions make an ass out of you and me. We've all heard that one. No, assumptions are essential to the way we perceive the world and the way we structure our relationships. And by looking at those assumptions, examining them, and as we'll get to later, Connie and I, within relationships, we have an online course and a program that we offer, and it's called the Dance of Souls. And we come here as souls, and we're here to help each other, to hold up mirrors for each other, so that we can assist each other in working through these very often erroneous assumptions. They're either wrong or erroneous, or at least outdated. We live in a time right now when it's critical to the survival of our species to update a whole bunch of our assumptions to the point where we quit doing the things that we are doing because it's got so dangerous. We're in trouble, and it's a wake-up time. So there.
Yes. So as we shift our assumptions, we shift our frequency, and we shift our vibration. And that's what we'll be bringing shortly with our 10 assumptions. But now what we're going to do is
Get up
and
boogie.
move a little bit to Omashar. Can you get that going on the...
So we're about to introduce on the screen an English rock star friend of ours. He's kind of a spiritual rock star, and he's the master of message music. His songs, these lyrics are just powerful, beautiful messages. And this one is called Hypnotized. It's basically, we've all been hypnotized by all of these beliefs and these programs that have come along. Now, later on, somebody's actually quite possibly going to hypnotize us. And I'm fine with that.
With all of your permission.
And the idea is, I personally am going to get up and move to this, and if we just get up and move, because then we're going to sort of sit and listen for a while. And the structure of the evening, we're going to give you some information, and then find a way to contemplate, think about, go inside, contemplate that information. So the best way, Harvard University determined, the best way humans learn, receive information, practice contemplation, go inside and just be with those new thoughts, and then dialogue. Talk about it in your community. So sit in circle and share your experiences. So it's going to be a variant on that tonight with this very extraordinary program that Michelle is bringing to us at our closing.
Michelle will take us, we won't go in that exact order, because
No, we
Michelle
won't.
will take us into the contemplation at the end.
At the end.
Yeah.
But it's interesting what you said about making assumptions, because in hypnosis, what I learned is that from the ages of 0 to 8 years old, your brain is a sponge and you take in so much information at a very young age that you don't have a filter for when you're that young. So a lot of our assumptions are really formed very early in life.
If I make a comment too, it's, you know, the fetus, the first thing that develops in a fetus is essentially the limbic system, which means in the mother's womb, all of the mother's threat hormones are received by the child. And that's pre-verbal, and that's deep. Yeah.
Okay, are you ready?
Okay.
Let's get up and move.
Now we recognize we've been hypnotized. The spell is wearing off, and so now we rise with higher frequencies. There is no disguise. The truth of life itself is now realized. Love is reaching through the hearts of me and you. Our world is waking up to our different points of view, 'cause now we recognize we've been hypnotized. The spell is wearing off, and so now we rise with higher frequencies. There is no disguise. The truth of life itself is now realized. So shake yourself free of the past. No longer do we walk in the dark. Let's show each other what we can do, and let our light shine right on through, and let the good of humanity stay, and let the dross simply fade away, and let the mother return to us all, so that love can have her way. 'Cause now we recognize we've been hypnotized. The spell is wearing off, and so now we rise with higher frequencies. There is no disguise. The truth of life itself is now realized. Ba-da-da-da. Da 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 No longer do we walk in the dark.
Let there be light, and all there is light.
Yeah, I have a meme that I made for 2025. Let the light come alive in 2025.
Nice.
Trust the loving universe. And I made a bunch of, I printed them up. You're welcome to them. All the handouts you're welcome to. So, okay, here we are. Thank you, Omashar, for the great Trust Frequency theme song. Okay, everybody. We can just take a few deep breaths and see if we're indeed ready to move beyond victim, perpetrator, right, wrong, good, evil, into that field that Rumi talks about, out beyond right doing and wrong doing. So be prepared for what we're going to share with you tonight briefly. And that is, and we're going to apply it, as Andrew spoke, to our personal relationship with ourselves. Because one thing I've noticed as looking at like how to do conscious business and how to move forward is personal work. Going inside and doing that work is key to our vibration, to our frequency, to our personal reality. So we are going to share that tonight, not our whole 10 assumptions and our whole construct, but just parts of it so that we get you to do a little of that work tonight, because we promised it would be a night of transformation. So it's not the easiest work to do in the world, because our ego self has gotten us this far, and it doesn't want to let go of all that we've created to look smart and happy and successful and all that. So it has lots of defense mechanisms that keep us from doing this work. But our soul self is desperate to do that work. It's what it came here to do. And so we have a series of definitions, and we're just going to focus on, Andrew went to one of them, which is assumptions and paradigm, but we have our definitions and 10 assumptions. You can take a handout, but meanwhile, we have one definition which has to do with humanity, okay? So listen very carefully, because this is very foundational. Humanity is a collection of divine, autonomous, sovereign beings who have chosen to incarnate on earth on the journey to wholeness, self-love, self-acceptance, alignment with our divinity, and purpose. Okay? So we're asking you to take these definitions and assumptions for tonight, take them as absolutely true. So just for the exercise, because if one doesn't take it as absolutely true, then there's holes in the whole process and it doesn't work. But ultimately, it's up to your heart and your spirit what you really truly resonate to for your lives. We're just going to take you through this process tonight, and we ask that you suspend disbelief and take them as absolutely true. We chose to come on the planet on this journey to wholeness. We chose our parents, we chose our experiences, we gave permission to the conscious loving universe to take us on this journey. That's our overarching act of free will. Okay? And so what we're going to look at is that everything in our lives has happened for us, not to us. That our soul has magnetized these behaviors that have shown us our light and our shadow. So this is a very big leap into that place beyond right and wrong. It's huge. Okay, it's the final big leap for humanity. You know, we're going in our evolution of consciousness. We're notching up, and everybody's talking about it's all love, and it's, you know, turn to love and let go of fear and all that stuff. But until we get to that place where we're going to take you to understanding that it's all love, resolving that paradox of love, not love. Okay, I'm not going to mention those things that are not love. So that's how I say it. Is not love, because I don't want to give any of that any power. Those things that we see as not love, and there's a whole slew of them, right? There, it's all happening right here, right now, in the world and in our lives. And so we resolve that paradox, that huge paradox. How can everything be love when there's all so much that feels and it appears to be not love, right? It's huge. So, so that's the definition of humanity.
And I think there's another one. If you get the book or you get the handout, there's about 10 of these definitions. We do use terminology in a different way. If you go to the dictionary and look it up, you will not find it expressed the way we are expressing it. So we really start out the workshops and the book itself with what we call the definitions. We define our terms. So in any kind of scientific exploration, we need to understand what we're talking about. If I use the word love, what do I mean by that? Does it mean holding hands with this one? Is that love? Yes, it is. But we're not talking about that. Is it how I feel about my little granddaughter? Yes, it is, but we're not talking about that. Is it about feeling at all? In a sense, it's not even that. It's not about human emotion. It's about scientific reality. The love we are talking about, and we express it with a capital L. A capital L. Love with a capital L. What is that? It's nothing less than the primordial energy, life force of the universe or metaverse, universes, whatever the biggest possible thing there is, ever dreamed of, ever created, ever in the midst of currently being created, is being created through that energy that we call love. So it's very, very, very big picture. So when it's easy to be confused. The word love is possibly the most confusing or misunderstood word in the English language. We're taking it to a whole other level, to the point where I like to say, and it's ridiculous and it's outrageous and I love it, we all know the equation. There's a scientist over there's probably heard of E equals mc squared. That E is what we're talking about. If the M is the mass of the universe, you can actually measure, if you knew the mass of the universe, you can figure out how much that Einsteinian equation will tell you how much energy there is in the universe. That's the love we're talking about. It's that energy, that precise energy, that which creates and holds together and ultimately destroys and recycles everything there is. This amazing phenomenon of which we're this current manifestation in this room right now. Here's a circle of these extraordinary beings. Look at us. How do we do this? How do 2 legs even, how can we walk, you know? It's a miracle upon a miracle upon a miracle. So the love we are talking about is way beyond the limitations of any of those other little loves. It's energy at the highest possible level. And you can also call it God. That works. You can call it Krishna or Allah or all those other terms. You can call it, the Native Americans called it the great mystery, and I love that one because it is the greatest mystery. It is not accessible to our little brains here. You know, we are, you know, we get it, we feel it, we understand it. At times we get big openings and we go, wow, I get it. And then you realize, well, wait a minute, there's more, because every time you move to a higher level, there's more and more and more. So, love. The way we use the term love is not, again, try going to the dictionary and find that definition of the word love. It ain't there.
Right, and that's our first assumption, that it's all love. And what we don't understand is the nature of that love.
Well, hang on, that's the second assumption.
Which,
Let me,
Okay, go ahead.
I'll segue immediately. So we have 10 assumptions in the book. We're just going to do the first 4. And the first one is totally transformative in and of itself. And it is this. I'm a scientist by training. I grew up in the very good British colonial Oxford, Cambridge scientific world, right? So I'm well trained in that reality. And I was taught that the universe is something akin to a giant machine. It's not alive, it's not a living, evolving entity. It's not, certainly not composed of love, that's ridiculous. And it is not even aware that I exist. So on the one hand, you had this sort of mechanistic description of this thing we call the universe. At the religious end of it, we had this other one, which is a sort of patriarchal being somewhere on a cloud somewhere, you know, probably with a long white beard, and that's good. His, always his name is God. And then there are all the other belief systems that humans have constructed to try to explain this profound mystery. So in a sense, we're gathered here tonight to have a look into this profound mystery, the mystery of being. So here's the first assumption. We live in a conscious, loving universe, which is the complete opposite of a mechanical universe that doesn't even know we exist. We are so integrated with the conscious, loving universe that there's actually no such thing as separation. The biggest problem, if you will, or creator of problems, is this illusion of separation, of thinking we're different, thinking because someone has a different skin color or speaks with a different accent or sings a different song, therefore we're separate from them. We're not. We're all manifestations of one extraordinary evolving thing, like a tree throwing out these gorgeous blossoms, and each of us is a blossom here. So that's the first assumption. We live in a conscious universe. And if we could just have that as a takeaway tonight, if you didn't already know that, and I know some of you here, if not all of us here, know that very well, and I'm just preaching to the choir, can't help it. So, then the second assumption is about the nature of that love. Connie?
so what we don't understand is the nature of that love, that it's unconditional. We've all heard unconditional love. Well, our use of unconditional means it gives us everything we ask for. Okay? It loves us so much, it gives us everything we ask for. And it's physics. It's pure physics. We couch it in it's love and it's giving us everything we ask for, but it's pure, unadulterated physics. It's vibration. Okay? So we say, okay, what are our requests to this conscious loving universe? Well, we already spoke of humanity incarnating and giving this overarching act of free will to say, okay, I'm going to Earth to bring all of me to the party, not just the parts that the society that are being requested of me to look successful and be happy and all those things. I'm going to bring all of me, and I'm going to come and have those experiences that are going to show me those parts of myself that I love, that's cool, and the parts I don't love yet. So that's the universe showing up. Everything in our lives is we have asked for to come to show us those parts of ourselves, the light and the shadow. So this bit of the physics of it is the fact that the laws and the different frequencies are different. So when we vibrate at a certain level, we're creating a certain reality. Okay, so once we've done our inner work, the little devil really understands that he is a beautiful soul who came here to bring his genius and his love and all that. When he comes to understand that and lets go and brings in that little devil into the light and says, I love you, you little devil. Let's go, little devil. Let's go and do this thing and create and be and bring that, all of that to the world. So that vibratory level, that as we do this work, this inner work, we shift our vibratory level to that place where we don't bring in anybody anymore that makes us feel like the little devil. That's not okay. Okay? And we stop interpreting people's behaviors as criticism when in fact they're just making a suggestion, but we get triggered with, oh, then that means I'm not okay. So I'm going to use my defense mechanisms to keep myself safe and not let you know that I really don't love myself. Okay, so I'm going to make you bad and wrong. I'm going to have various, whatever our own individual defense mechanisms are. And we're going to go into that a little bit. We're going to give you some opportunity to kind of share some of your triggers and your defense mechanisms tonight a little bit. But as we bring that stuff into the light, we shift our frequency, we shift our vibration. So it's really physics, this conscious loving universe, this unconditional love is all about physics. What are our requests? Okay? What determines our frequency? So our third assumption is...
May I do that? Should I do this?
Sure.
Okay, so we sort of, as you can see, we're sort of bouncing assumptions here. There's only two more to go.
Yeah.
Okay, so the third assumption, now we went big picture, right? We went universe, conscious, loving universe. There is nothing that exists that is not love. It is the only thing that exists. Everything is composed of love. It is the essence of what has resulted in matter. Matter has emanated from that energy, has turned into matter, and that process, we could even call that being in love. There's no place to be that's not in love, because love is the universe. And then the unconditional nature of that love, how that it's like the womb of the mother when we're a little tiny bird, tiny being in there. We are so loved by the universe that as our mother gives us everything we ask for, everything we need, everything is provided. Now it becomes personal. We, you, and me, we create reality with the power of our consciousness. That's the third assumption. Once we know that we are a co-creative, collaborator with everyone else and everything else in the entire universe, we create reality with the power of our consciousness. What is reality? It's what we experience, the life we experience. We experience existence through our consciousness. And then that opens up the question of consciousness. Science has had a big problem with the word consciousness. Science has only just in the last maybe 20, 30 years begun to get some sort of a grip on this thing, consciousness, which is bizarre when you think about it, because humans have been around for maybe 300,000 years. We've been around for a long time. And we've been nothing but, the only thing we've experienced is consciousness during that whole time. And yet nobody's ever thought to ask the question, well, what is that? I was at a conference once with some incredible physicists up on the stage, and somebody said, could you please define consciousness? And these 5 major guys just produced a confusion of words, and they didn't actually succeed in defining it. So the next one, and we call it the fourth assumption, is simply consciousness as expressed in something that Connie's about to explain to us.
Well, we have 7 aspects of consciousness. We've chosen these 7 aspects. They all begin with A, the letter A. So we call them the 7 A's. And these 7 A's determine our frequency. Okay? Our vibration. It's just that simple. It's just physics, kids. And so we have these 7 A's, and I put them into a sentence. And so I'm going to say them in a sentence, and be conscious of the modifier to the word, because that's key. And so here it is.
And this is consciousness.
These are 7 aspects of our consciousness that determine our vibratory level and therefore our reality. Okay, so with expanded awareness, with expanded awareness and accurate assumptions, we choose our attitude, consciously direct our attention, align with our highest inner promptings, take committed action, which is the kicker, because we have to act from that place, and allow the loving universe to manifest beyond our wildest dreams.
So that's our take on consciousness. 7 different attributes or aspects. Some of them are passive, some of them are active. And taken together, they add up to what each of us experiences every breath of our life.
And as we raise in frequency, the laws are expanded in the higher frequencies. It's a different reality. And you can create that for yourself. It doesn't matter what Tom, Dick, Harry, Mary, and Susie are doing. Within the world as we know it, you can have a completely different reality. But you have to trust the loving universe. Absolute trust. Okay? Because if there's any doubt, it's the Achilles heel. If there's any doubt, that takes you down in vibration. So it's a big challenge, but it's something you're carrying in your heart that you know. People have said our book gives words for something they've always known, but haven't had the words for. So we're suggesting that it's the true nature of the universe. When I was asking, what are the missing pieces in our paradigm as a teenager? And I guess that's the question I came to ask. And the answers you get depend on the questions you ask. And I went looking for the missing pieces. I took up with an Austrian Olympic ski champion and went to Europe and spent 10 years with him thinking he had a different reality. Well, no, it's the same reality. Our thinking came from Europe. And so then native elders started coming into my life here in the valley. I don't know how many of you remember. For 30 years, in the 90s, I started bringing in these visionary native elders who came into my life to bring me the answer. What are the missing pieces of our paradigm? And what I saw through these native people was the true nature of the universe. I got it. That what they are knowing, what their connection to the sacredness and oneness of all life, and their ability to travel interdimensionally, all the shamanic abilities that these people have is the true nature of the universe. And science is now proving that. Okay, it's a holographic universe. It's a fractal holographic universe. We are the universe. And everything we do, say, and think affects all that is. So that's the leading edge science is coming to that, but that's what's carried in the native, in the indigenous connection to all that is, and the conscious loving universe. That's where I got this stuff from, was from these visionary elders, and I was bringing them into the valley throughout the 90s and saying stuff. Everybody thought I was stark raving mad. And and the point I raised my children, we swooped and darted the whole educational system in absolute trust. I let my son drop out of first grade in absolute trust that he came with a gift, and that the universe would chase him around with a silver platter. Here, Johnny, here's the experience you need to be that gift. I knew it. I had absolute trust. I didn't pull him out of school. He wouldn't go. He said, Mom, my feelings tell me I don't belong here. I said, well, Obi-Wan Kenobi says, trust your feelings, Luke. So, I mean, Star Wars is a handbook, okay, for the trust frequencies. And Johnny Marlow is now a very, very successful photographer in LA, top of the heap photographer. You can go on Instagram, Johnny Marlow, and see what he's up to. But so it's absolute trust. If I had any doubt that I was destroying Johnny Marlow's life, letting him drop out of first grade, how could I do it? How could I let him go when a whole society says if you don't go to the right preschool, you're out, okay? But I had absolute trust, and I listened to him. I didn't impose my worldview on him. I listened to him, and I did that for every one of my children. And so we've had quite an extraordinary life, and they're all very successful. I have 3 children. And
Yeah, I've known that young man since he was 17, and he's 38.
yeah.
He's extraordinary. He's that gentle man in the gentlemanly way who is just brilliant and tender and...
I also wanted to raise a true male human, because I have a real resonance to the male heart, to the beauty and tenderness of the male heart, each of you guys who are here. I get it. You're beautiful, and you have a very tender heart that's wounded easily by our child-rearing practices and what we've, in this patriarchy, we've experienced the wounded male heart defending itself and trying to live up to expectation of the society and of the women in its life. Anyway, love you guys.
Okay. So I think it might be time to just do a quick sort of check-in here, because what we'd like to do is show how these ideas can be applied in our everyday lives, specifically in our relationships, which are those things which are closest to us. The closest thing to me is this beloved being here. And all of the challenges and all of the delights and all of the things that happen within our relationships are very often manifested in our marriages, our love lives, and then our relationships with our children, our bosses, and the rest
People
of
we can't get away from very easily.
Right. So I think, yeah, that's really the key. Those who cannot get it now, you've got to work through it, because you can run away. We have these serial monogamies where we go into the next relationship and the same darn thing happens again. Why? Because there's work to be done. So how are we doing time-wise?
We're doing
I
great.
think we're doing very well.
Yeah.
I
Beautiful.
think we're fine. We have time.
Yeah.
Sweet, because I totally lose track of time. It just okay.
I call the people in the relationship antagonists. Antagonists. They're purposely put in there to show us our shadow, and you see the light through the shadow.
And our beauty. Yeah. Protagonists and antagonists.
Absolutely.
Protagonists and antagonists. So what we,
I think we're going to take a deep breath at this moment and just assimilate what we have heard so far. What we would do if we had more time is take a walk and just contemplate these thoughts and come back and have a dialogue on the subject. We don't have time for that tonight. We're doing a different kind of program. But I just want to say that we can summarize everything we've heard so far in these 4 words. Trust the loving universe. That's my mantra. If I wake up in the middle of the night and I am anxious about anything, it could be finances, it could be what's happening in the world out there, And it's just like remember to trust. Remember that everything that is happening, not only to me, but to all of us, is happening for us, for our evolution, for our development, for our growth. And to know, no matter what it looks like, what it feels like, that we'll make it through this one too. It really helps. Boy, does it help in terms of, I think the best word for it is liberation. Freedom from fear. Freedom from fear. If humans could reach the point where we were completely free from fear, this would be a very different planet. And by trusting the loving universe as an individual, I can vouch for the fact that that works for me.
And what I want to say is that the earth, from my perspective, the earth has been in a lower frequency, a lower vibration of fear, of separation, of scarcity. And it's been our job as humanity to transmute those energies, to go through those energies, and we've done a great job, okay? We're at that threshold now where there's a higher frequency now available on the planet that's pulling us forth into a higher way of being, and the laws are expanded. It's a different reality, a completely different ballgame. We're not going to fix what happened in this lower vibration, these systems, these behaviors that have come into being that have very obviously now not serving us. I mean, I think we've all had a sense that they haven't served us. I mean, I was going to take the system to court 30 years ago for crimes against humanity because we haven't been aligned with our heart and our spirit and the universal law of the universe. Well, that's coming to pass now. That frequency is now available to us and it's pulling us forth. So that's what you guys are here tonight for. You're sensing that. You're like, okay, I'm ready. I want to do this work. I want to shift my frequency. I want to go into this higher vibration that's calling. So just know there's so much support now for that. That's the dominant energy. It's pulling us. It's Tom, Dick, Harry, Mary, and Susie. They're going to get it in their own way. And if they don't, there's some saying that the Earth's going to split into two Earths. Either literally or figuratively with dimensional shifts. That we're not going to be experiencing each other in the different frequencies. I see lots of nods and heads, people are resonate to this. So who knows? But we're on the verge of something huge. It's God's big event for me. And I'm not a God person, but I called it that. And we're a crew, okay? We're a crew of this big event. So every one of your gifts is key, that you go forward and bring that gift and do that inner work that's keeping you from that. Those little niggling things of not okay and oh, nobody wants to know and I'm, nobody wants to hear me. Yes, you brought a gift to the party and you promised, and all of creation is awaiting that gift. So that's the gift we want to give you tonight, is to do that work. And it's scary and it's hard. And so what we wanted to do was to have you go into twos and just chat with each other about repeated behaviors in your lives that have triggered you. And if you don't have such a thing, well, good for you. You're an old soul that didn't come for this. And you understand what a trigger is. Do you understand what a trigger is? When you...
Anybody doesn't know that term and doesn't experience it repeatedly?
What puts you into fear? What makes you afraid? What keeps you awake at night?
Well, not only fear.
Or just whatever.
Whatever triggers you.
Any kind of disagreements. We get wild. We really have fun. Yeah.
Yeah. We should see our dance of souls.
People think we sit around smiling all the time.
Yeah. So share your triggers and then share your defense mechanisms. What you do to either you leave or you make the other person bad and wrong, and you cut them out of your lives, or whatever you can discern as your defense mechanism. And I'm sure you're really good at it. These defense mechanisms are really well honed and are a definite part of our personality that we've been so far. And so it's just important to become conscious of those things and say, okay, I'm triggered. I'm gonna breathe now. I'm not gonna go there. You know, just to become conscious and to thank that other person rather than making them bad and wrong. Say, got it. I still got that work to do. Thank you very much. So anyway.
And that's not easy.
Maybe to comment too. It's
Yeah.
very important not to judge our triggers. So we're going to get triggered. It's part of our survival brain.
Mhm.
And like a while ago you said, maybe you're ascended master. Masters I've known get triggered, but they're really good at they're really good at not sticking on the trigger. You know, it's funny. One of my heroes is Michelle Bryan.
Do you want to pull your chair over here and,
Oh, okay.
and come?
Okay.
Chair
Come
button.
right back where you were. There you go. Now, don't do the backward somersault.
So very quickly, just, one of my many teaching heroes is Michelle Bryan, the Tibetan master. And one thing I love that she said, she points out, in Tibetan Buddhism, there are the 3 poisons, which are basically normal human behavior. It's not like, oh, get rid of the poison. No, we're born with the poison. And she points out very wisely that the 3 poisons are not the issue at all. It's the stickiness that's the issue. And so the thing is, in psychological terms, trauma terms, there's the trigger and then it progresses to arousal, in which case we're very much overwhelmed because the threat hormones have completely invaded our bodies. It's a trick, which I love what you're doing, because the trick is how you see the trigger so it doesn't proceed to the next stage.
Yeah, and I personally, I think I'm just a drama queen. You know? So there's something really exciting and fun about getting excited and getting hot under the collar and having it. Now, all you've got to do if you want to trigger me is accuse me of something that I know I'm not guilty of. The unjustly accused is probably my biggest trigger. Would you agree? She's got a long list, okay. Okay, that's from my perspective. I only have one trigger and that's it. But if you were to, I have this terrible need to explain myself, to say, look, that's not what I meant. That's not even what I said. You're taking it, you're not understanding. And the other person is getting madder and madder, and I'm just trying to get a point across. And the only thing you can actually do is shut the fuck up sometimes, and sometimes turn around and walk out and just go and hug a tree somewhere.
Yeah.
Because we humans get very passionate about the silliest misunderstandings. And it's really hard. So this is something, if we can actually learn to look into those mirrors that our beloveds are presenting to us. And we are the beloveds of every other human on the planet who's here to show us. The dogs are not here. They're here to just show us love and how beautiful and wonderful we are, right? But other humans, part of our function with regard to one another is to assist each other by irritating the hell out of each other and training us somehow to learn to be grateful for that. And I recognize that's really hard, but if you come and really, really upset me and I can say, wow, thank you, I've probably raised my vibe. And I'm actually in the trust frequency, because it's my lack of trust that gets me upset and having this horrible need to explain myself and making sure that you are actually understanding what I'm talking about. Whereas in the big picture, it probably doesn't matter one little bit.
Let's have the folks.
So I just wanted to give that as an example. Now, how many couples are there in the room? Okay. So it's probably a good, I think it's your choice. Either if you're a couple and you want to do this work, it's intense, it's beautiful, or just find a fellow human in this room with whom we can have this little exercise for how long?
10 minutes.
About 10 minutes.
And then,
And we're just going to break into pairs and share our triggers and share our
defense mechanism.
defense mechanisms. In other words, I just told you how I defend myself. I'm really good at that. So I get triggered and I defend myself loudly. And okay, it doesn't work, I admit. So let's just have a look at that, and this is just a little baby step in the direction of the work we're talking about. Okay?
Sweet. Okay, everybody.
There you are.
Here it is. So the association is dark, might be worrying all the time.
Andrew and Connie, we're talking about resonance. And the beauty of resonance is that it's contagious. And the curse of resonance is that it's contagious. So we all have people, when you're in a room with a group of people and somebody walks into the room and they have a dark cloud on them and you can feel it from in the space, and it kind of brings the energy down. The beauty of resonance is that you see these shining lights of people who walk into a room and they bring the energy and the resonance up. So what I'm hoping with tonight's experience is that all of you are going to leave here to become the light that exists in the world, and that you go out and you bring the energy up wherever it is that you are, and each of us is capable of it in our own way, and just to learn that you can go into the world and be the light and be connected with God and be the love that you want to see in the world, because then it all comes right back at you. Am I right about that?
Absolutely.
So just remember that your energy is contagious. And I think that this is really going to be a powerful experience for all of you. And the beauty of hypnosis is it takes you into a place that you don't normally go, into your subconscious. And there is an element that shamans use when they are working with energetic healing in people. And I want you to be able to go into the space. Are you comfortable there?
I'm waiting for the water to boil.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yep.
Do you mind if I get started, or okay? So I want you all to be very relaxed and trust that this is a personal journey that you are going to be going on. That is very, and I am grateful to all of you for trusting me to take you on the journey, and to take you to also trusting the people in this room, that we are all going into our own individual space and place. And my wish for all of you is that you actually get to feel the love of the universe filling you up through this experience. So I encourage you all now to start by closing your eyes, finding a really relaxed place internally, turning your mind's eye inside of yourself. You're going to explore the concepts of the trust in the ever-loving universe. You can call it God, you can call it Source, whatever name you want to give to the ever-loving universe. This is also the connection to your higher self, because each one of you is a God that lives inside of you. So I just want you to start by following your breath. Your breath is the first thing that you do when you are born, and is the last thing you will take as a breath as you pass. With each breath that you're taking, Feel yourself becoming more at ease, more focused on my voice, sinking deeply into comfort wherever it is that you are. Inhale deeply and exhale fully. Allow your eyes to gently close if they haven't already, and wherever it is that you are. As you breathe in, visualize a wave of calmness and beautiful light energy washing over you, starting from the top of your head and flowing down to your toes. Feel this wave of relaxation, melting away any tension in your body. With each breath, let go of any distractions or any worries of the day. Inhale peace and exhale tension. Now just picture in your mind that you're looking down 10 steps. As you look down those steps, you can see all the way to the bottom, and you know and understand and trust that at the bottom of those steps is a place of deep internal awareness, a place of change. It is the place where you have access to your subconscious mind at the deepest level. You are looking down these 10 steps, and as I count from 10 down to 1, you will move on to each step, and you will see, hear, and feel your feet treading downward. Taking step 10, as each muscle in your body and every nerve turns loose, it lets loose and you go deeper. Taking step 9 and step 8, down onto step 7. As you move down, you drift down, you travel down to an even deeper level of relaxation. Now down on step 6, you are allowing yourself to go deeper into an awareness of yourself, drifting way down deep. Down onto step 5 and step 4, going deeper into your own internal state, where you have perfect access to your subconscious mind. You're feeling deeply, deeply relaxed, perfectly comfortable, and perfectly safe. You are taking step 3. Any sound you hear around you is only a signal to your mind to carry you deeper into hypnosis. Taking step 2, as you gently, calmly, easily move down to step 1, you just sleep and deeply, deeply relax. This is only a sleep of your nervous system. Now, as I click my fingers, you will go deeper, drift deeper, and sink deeper, knowing that going deeper only means going deeper into an awareness of yourself. Now, in this peaceful place, you are open to new ideas and experiences. You are safe, and you are ready to explore the concept of trust. I invite you to reflect on the idea of trust. Trust is the foundation of all meaningful connections. Picture yourself in a warm and inviting space, surrounded by beauty. Wherever it is that you feel completely at ease, see the beauty and the love surrounding you. In this space, you are surrounded by a supporting and loving energy, completely at peace and embraced by the love of the universe. This is a place that lives inside of each of you. This place Inside of you is source. It is self-love. Allow yourself right now to feel embraced and filled by a deeper love than you have ever felt before. Let yourself go. Feel yourself filled up with the universal source, loving energy at the deepest level of your being. This is the level of self-love that is available to you. It lives inside of you. You simply need to remember. And you are remembering this right now. You recognize that abundance is a co-creative process. And you are starting to understand that it's just fine to pursue your heart's greatest desires. The keys are committed action and absolute trust that the universe is always acting in your best interest, and every event in your life is generated from source, from the universal loving energy, and all there is in the world is love. This is the path that you are choosing to embrace a higher frequency and co-create an innovative and thriving future. Just allow those feelings to resonate deeply within you. This self-love is the path to embracing that higher frequency. You know that the universe is loving, and you imagine that gentle, peaceful, warm and loving light embracing and surrounding you. This right now is your reminder that the universe loves you in every moment and in every action. You feel this warmth and this love of the universe, and you recognize on a very deep level that you are never alone. You are love, and you are source. In this moment, you are allowing yourself to understand that we are a connected collection of individuals. Each one of us are divine, sovereign beings who have chosen to come and incarnate on earth on this journey to wholeness. This journey includes self-love, self-acceptance, and alignment with your own divine nature. Every moment of every day, you are choosing to remember your connection to divine source, and it guides you in finding your divine purpose. You visualize in your mind right now a web of gentle, peaceful, loving light connecting you to everyone around you, everyone in this room, and extending outward to all the people in your life that you love deeply, and even to those antagonists in your life who sometimes are difficult to love. These are the souls who are there as our teacher, and they need our love and compassion too. Fill all of them, everyone in your universe. Fill them up with the love that you are producing. This is your act of creation. Feeling the love and the support flowing throughout this web of interconnectedness. reinforcing your sense of belonging and your connectedness to Source, to God, to the loving energy of the universe. Love is the ultimate act of creation. You recognize that putting that amount of trust into the world is your choice. The universe wants you to have free will and to choose love. And you see yourself in your mind's eye standing at a crossroads. One path you can take leads to fear and doubt, while the other path leads to more trust, more openness, and obviously more love. In the past, you may have chosen the path of fear, but now you can see so clearly that fear is just an illusion. It's a shadow in the distance. Our antagonists are here to show us our own shadow, those parts of ourselves that we don't love yet. Watch yourself as you focus on love and trust and see that shadow just fade away, revealing the light of a new possibility. There is another way, and you are empowered to choose the path of light and love and trust through every challenge that life throws your way. At this moment, you recognize and feel that choice, and you recognize that a heavy weight is lifted off of your shoulders as you choose the path of love. You are choosing it now, and you are choosing it every moment of every day as you are moving forward in the world from here on out. And this resonates with you on such a deep level. It feels so good to you to recognize that all is love, all is Source, and then you tell yourself, I am Source, and that becomes your mantra. I am Source. I am the light that I want to see in the world. And then you recognize that that light and that resonance is contagious, and you spread it out through your web of interconnectedness, and that feels so good to you, to be and feel that incredible lightness of being, filling up with love and Source energy. At this moment, right now, you feel it so deeply that you are Source energy having a human experience. Take another moment to feel that love filling you up and recognizing your choice every day throughout the day moving forward. It all makes so much sense right now. You see yourself as this vibrant being of energy, radiating positivity. This is your first and your most important act of creation, recognizing that you are Source energy. That energy fills you up and spreads out through your web of connectedness, connecting you to the world and amplifying your trust in the love of the universe. You see it now so clearly. Love is the highest frequency. It is the only frequency. It envelops you. That love raises you up, raises your frequency, and you know without hesitation that that love is always available to you, and it guides your decisions and your actions. And you recognize and you see it. This is how we change the world. We create our own reality. We are co-creators. And you, every one of you, are collaborating with the ever-loving universe. You are cultivating love in the world, and you see the impact that it has on everyone around you. You get excited and joyful with this act of creation, knowing that trust and love is your guiding light. We are here to learn and grow, and every experience, even the challenging ones, are there for your growth. And you see challenges now as opportunities to practice and reinforce your own personal commitment to love. And when this is happening, you recognize that challenges are happening for you. They are not happening to you. And it's now in your nature that you move into trust, knowing you are on the right path and evolving with each step forward. All of these transforming suggestions are remaining embedded in you, having a powerful and pervasive impact on you. Your inner mind is locking onto these words, and it's understanding everything that you are hearing. And from this moment on, you recognize this healing transformation that's taken place in you. And my words of this transformation, they go with you, transforming you every moment and every day. So now, feeling wonderful and feeling free, I'm going to count you back from 1 to 5. On the count of 1, you are feeling confident, knowing a transformation has taken place in your mind, transforming you into the love of the ever-trusting universe. On the count of 2, you're feeling empowered for change, anticipating a new future. On the count of 3 and 4, you are taking a deep breath, filling yourself up with energy, feeling wonderful, feeling free, and feeling the love of the universe. And on the count of 5, you are returning now to full awareness. Awake. Welcome back. I hope that you enjoyed that experience into trust and love of the universe. Were you able to feel it?
You know, love takes a lot of reminding. That was a good reminder.
Always love. Always. It is a beautiful reminder, isn't it? Thank you.
Thank you.
I could feel that. Where did you go?
It's 8:30. If anybody has to leave, we had one more little thing we were gonna do. If you're up for that, and then we will close. And this won't take long. It has to do with the vows of love that came to me actually in 1992 in a, thanks. The vows of love that actually came to me in 1992 in a traffic jam on Highway 82. And so what I'm going to do is read these, and if you guys would stand and circulate around and look in the eyes of people as you say these words, that would be great. What?
Repeat the words.
Yeah, you're going to repeat the words. I'm going to read the words, and you're going to repeat them, and you're going to circulate around, and so here we go. I will. No, but you're going to circulate. You're going to go around
Keep
and look in
changing,
different people's
looking in
eyes.
different people's eyes.
You're gonna walk around and look in different people's eyes, okay?
Hello, Rita.
So, here's the vows of love. Okay, everybody ready? I'm gonna read a line and you're gonna repeat it.
So you have to listen carefully.
Okay, here we go. I will faithfully reflect the light and beauty that is in your heart.
I will faithfully reflect the light and beauty that is in your heart.
I will also mirror for you all of your wounds and insecurities.
Fuck yeah, I will.
And will help you make friends with your shadow. Those parts of yourself that you do not yet love.
Those parts of yourself.
I will as well. Thank you and honor you for mirroring for me.
I will as well. Thank you for mirroring for me.
The parts of myself that I cannot see. Each time I try to blame and judge you, I will remind myself to look inside. And articulate and bring into the light my shadow side that you have shown me. I realize that by entering into a relationship with you, I have agreed to walk with you into deep unconscious levels. On the journey toward wholeness. If at any time we decide to end this relationship, I recognize that it will be because we have served each other's growth as best we can. I look forward to the day when the fruit of our time together will have ripened through the many seasons of our relationship. So there you have it. Okay, one more thing.
I'd like your attention for one more minute.
Here we go.
And you can chat before you leave, but I'd like your attention, please.
One more thing from Rita.
It's been a real pleasure to have Connie and Andrew be here tonight, and Michelle and Rob Woo. It's been a very incredible evening, and if you get a sense of where you were when you came into this room, and just feel into where you are now, just go out and reflect on that and look up into that incredible night sky and affirm your place in the loving universe, because you're all here to fall into alignment with what Thich Nhat Hanh has said. It is possible that the next Buddha will not take the form of an individual, but may take the form of a community, practicing understanding and loving kindness, a community practicing mindful living. This may be the most important thing we can do for the survival of the earth. So thank you for saying yes to this invitation that was put out on this second day of January 2025.
Thank you for the
May peace prevail on earth.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So it is.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you.